A very good evening to you. I'm Sophia Cambridge with this Sunday, March 18th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, a senior cabinet minister is convinced that the people of St. John will vote in favour of the Democratic Labour Party in the upcoming general election. Education Minister Ronald Jones believes the people of that rural constituency will, as he puts it, let good sense prevail and give his party the nod once more. Lisa Lord has more.
Education Minister Ronald Jones used the official opening of the St. George North constituency office for candidate Jepter Ince to convey his confidence in the people of St. John to stick with the DLP. St. John is considered the safest seat for the party, which has held it for the past 60 years. But a just-released opinion poll published in one of the daily newspapers points to some pressure on the party to bring it home this time around. Minister Jones has, however, told St. John residents not to forget the neglect they endured under the Barbados Labour Party administration.
Anything that was conceptualized and started previous to them taking office was left to rot. So, the David Thompson complex that we had to put a whole lot of money into to bring it to fruition and that was left to rot. And even though twice a year, every year, it was spoken to, it fell on deaf ears.
Mr. Jones also defended the stewardship of the DLP administration, saying it has continued to be a light for the country.
We have all followed in the mold of the Right Excellent Earl Walton Barrow. It is argued, I don't know definitively, that when he passed on, there was no large riches hidden in any large iron tub or under anybody's floorboards. And it was said that about many of those who came to this party ready to serve and giving service.
As he addressed the gathering, candidate Ince said that he has many plans for St. George North and is confident of victory. He says youth unemployment and the general condition of infrastructure are major concerns. Mr. Ince also noted that one of the things that surprised him while canvassing was the number of people who still don't have access to a computer.
And I think that the constituency office, and this is what we are proposing, that the constituency office be also used as a place where persons can come and do some research and have the research done if they do not have access to computers. These are the type of things that we want to do for St. George North. These are the type of things that I want to do as representative.
Mr. Ince is running against BLP incumbent Glenn Clark, who has held that seat since 1994. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
Thanks, Lisa. The Minister of Culture, Stephen Lashley, believes there should be live broadcasts of debates in the upcoming general election campaign. He envisaged they could cover several areas and allow the respective candidates to explain their ideas.
I think it is time when we should have well-structured and organized debates with moderators who will quiz the people who are claiming that they want to hold office in Barbados, where they're forced to put arguments based on solid supporting documentation. And I hope you can have something called a truth monitor somewhere around that will bleep. You know, if you had to use a truth monitor on some platforms, you know that you won't hear the speaker at all. You hear beep, 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 all the time. We have to be, in order to raise our level of governance, I believe we have to become much more open.
Woolley highlighted the idea in his 2-hour presentation at the Astor Beats Watts lecture on the theme, Achievements of the Democratic Labour Party Point the Way Forward for the Country. Mr. Lashley says the island needs to continue to remain on the DLP's path of diversifying the economy. In other news, the National Union of Public Workers makes decisions based on the needs of its workers and not on political persuasion. That's the strong message from President Akani McDowell during the union's church service at the St. Matthias Church. Describing the union's last 5 months as a baptism of fire in light of recent industrial relations issues, he's adamant that the union is not motivated by party politics.
The National Union of Public Workers is unique in the sense that its membership and by extension decision makers are drawn from both sides of the political divide, and the tendency to label us one way or another when our requests on behalf of the membership run counter to those on the other side cannot stand up to scrutiny and are baseless and without foundation.
During the service, Mr. McDowell asked Barbadians to keep the NUPW in their prayers. Meanwhile, he says the union will continue to seek the most appropriate response to the issues affecting public servants. News from the Ministry of Education now. In the Blackman Gollop Primary School and the Thelma Berry Nursery School will reopen tomorrow. That's according to a statement issued by the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation this afternoon. Both Staple Grove Christchurch institutions were closed for all of last week due to a persistent cowitch problem which has been plaguing the area. Students in Class 4 were temporarily relocated to the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology in Wildy for a few days, but the remainder of the students remained at home. We'll take a pause here, but we'll have more news just after the break. Well, with over 8,000 road accidents in Barbados each year, the local Road Safety Association wants drivers to remain focused when they're behind the wheel. That's the message behind the newest campaign in support of amendments to the Road Traffic Act to stamp out cell phone use. The campaign includes a new safety pledge which President Charmaine Roland Bowen says will be circulated to both drivers and passengers.
This pledge, that we have, as I said, it is for you also, because you being a passenger in a vehicle and that vehicle gets in a crash because the driver was texting, you would understand, you can be killed or you can be seriously injured. That driver has your life as his responsibility, or his or her responsibility, and you as a passenger, we're asking you at rule number 5, I will speak up if my driver is using a handheld cellular phone while driving.
In news further afield now, a witness at the Commission of Inquiry into the murder of several miners at Lindo Creek in Guyana has accused the former Minister of Home Affairs, Clement Rohi, of being of no help to the victims' families. Travis Chase has the details.
The Lindo Creek Commission of Inquiry listened to an emotional testimony from Onika Butts, who is the reputed wife of Dax Arokium, one of the miners slain at Lindo Creek in June of 2008. Butts, like other relatives who testified, said that the police told her nothing of how the miners were slain. That's when she sought an audience with the then Home Affairs Minister, Clement Rohi, who was of no help.
And I took it upon myself 3 months after, and I went and see Clement Rohi, because I wasn't hearing anything. Nobody was saying anything to me.
All right. Where you went to and how you were able to get an audience with the Minister then of Home Affairs, Mr. Rohi?
It was on Breakdown, I think it was on Breakdown. I can't really remember right now, but I went into him. I spent 30 minutes prior. That man just looked at me like silently, had nothing to say to me. Whereas I was asking him questions like, I need answers. If it was your child, wouldn't you want answers? And his mouth was sealed, nothing. And I was just forced to leave because I couldn't deal with it. He wasn't saying anything to me, so I just left.